Shalom, friends, and this Shabbat we are going to pray at SBH. Once again, we thank them for their hospitality, and in this week's parasha, as soon as Bnei Israel receive the Torah, they have big plans. They want to build a massive structure so they could serve Hashem, but God commands us in the Torah that Mizbach Adama Ta'aseli, we should build an altar of Adama, of ground, nothing grandiose, nothing made out of stone or wood or anything else like that, something very simple. And over there we should bring our sacrifices to Hashem. And God tells us, B'chol hamakom asher azkir et shemi, avo elecha uve'achticha. Any place that I call home, any synagogue that I have, I will come to you and I will bless you. God is telling us that we have to look at simplicity in our service to Hashem. Even though there could be ideas of maybe grandiose plans and making silver and gold for God, Hashem is looking for exactly the opposite, because that's where the blessing is. And any place that's designated as a synagogue, any place that has a center of holiness, I will then come to you, says the Ibn Ezra, and bless you. Hashem is not looking for anything else to draw His divinity towards us, because there's already an available space. For all we have to do is be in that space, call out to Hashem, and the blessing is already there. We don't have to look anywhere else. Says the Kliyakar, this is also a lesson for humility, that through humility, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring divinity. And he says in the Prophet in Isaiah, it says, Eshkon ve'edeka ruach, that the Gemara in Masechet Sotah says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will dwell with those that have simplicity and an available spirit to Hashem. And there are two opinions whether Hashem will take that humble person and raise him or her up, or HaKadosh Baruch Hu will then lower himself to where that person is. And either way you look at it, this is a very, very big bracha. But you know what happens afterwards? And if we do that, the pasuk says, "V'im mizbach avanim ta'aseli." Our sages explain the Mefarshim that when we apply this ability of serving Hashem from the most simple, basic layer of Adama, then further to that, an extension of that, following that, God will bless us, will bless the individual to then have mizbach avanim, to have greater sanctuaries, and eventually that's really what happened. The Jewish people were in the Midbar, in the desert. Later on they go to Yerushalayim, they're in Shiloh, they're in Nov, they're in the Bet HaMikdash. And so that's the track of Am Yisrael. Huge Har Sinai, but then lowering ourselves to something very simple, being there, connecting to Hashem from that simplicity, and then moving forward and upward from that into Eretz Yisrael. And so on an individual level, that's where HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to begin. And this week's parasha, Parashat Yitro, the great grand 10 commandments, are all there to center and focus us to be condensed into Mizbach Adama. Shabbat Shalom.